Hi everyone, it's Cinder again. Today I'd like to discuss transgender people in the media and our portrayal, the portrayal that society has of us. Because I know when most people think of trans people, what they think of is what is actually a transvestite, someone who dresses up for either just for fun or to be outrageous or whatever, or for sexual pleasure. And these are people that usually you see that are outrageous female dress. They're obviously male. They don't shave, or they don't put on a lot. They put on way too much makeup, and they have these big frilly pink dresses. And most people in society, when you think of a trans person, that's what you think. And up until recent years, in the last 10 or so years, that has been the only portrayal of trans people in society. Unfortunately, now that trans people are coming more into the light, you do get a lot of misrepresentations of trans people, to the point where they're very disrespectful and honestly very hurtful. I want to start off here, and I will be reading a lot because I'm citing my sources in this because it's a pretty big topic. Up to this point, we're discussing kind of a generalistic overview of my life and trans people in general. Now we're moving on to a societal view of trans people, which will then condense into certain subjects. So let's start with this. The surgery. The only way to be perceived as a, if I'm a girl, to be perceived as a girl by others or by society is to have the surgery. And what the surgery is to create the neo-vagina, to have sexual reassignment surgery. This is ridiculous in many ways. But it's true. In Boys Don't Cry, in Trans America, for Chaz Bono. If you saw Chaz Bono go out there and say he's a man with tits and with no beard, how many people would be like, that's not really a man, that's whatever. But really, what defines someone as a man or a woman? Is it having a dick? Is it having a vagina? Is it having the right chromosomes? Because I challenge anyone to give me a definition of a man that fits no woman and every man. A guy gets his dick chopped off, he's still a man. A woman gets a mastectomy, still a woman. Likewise, there are many genetic conditions where you are born intersex, either to a male, someone who looks physically male, born with two X chromosomes. Still a male. Still says he's a guy, still acts like a guy, still has all the equipment of a guy. He's a guy. So chromosomes, genitals, nothing will make someone male or female except their own definition and their own labeling of their personal identity, and anything else is disrespectful and hurtful and ignorant. So moving right along, in a study done in 2004, 78% of transgender people felt that the media portrayed them in a, quote, inaccurate or highly inaccurate way, with only 3% considering them accurate. Yet despite this, 55% of trans people would like to see more trans representation in the media, and only 10% would like to see it less often. And kind of correlating to that, 95% of people in this study, trans people in this study, felt that the media did not care about what the trans people felt or how they treated trans people, whether they call it he, she male, tranny, what have you. It was a freak show to be mocked and to be laughed at, not people to be respected and understood. And it's that dehumanizing effect that really gets people and gets, it's what happened to gay people, and what's happened to black people. That's what happened to women. It's dehumanizing. You're not as good. You're not as legitimate as everyone else around you. And it's really a horrible thing to have happen to the people you care about, to see people you care about be treated as a second-class citizen just because of what they look like. Let's see. Now, the worst people, the worst portrayal in the media has obviously been the tabloid community, which is, News of the World, all that kind of stuff. Regularly referring to people as trannies, emphasizing stories that are criminal or scandal, whatever, caught with tranny, or tranny kills another, or whatever, because, it's not about look at the struggle these people went through. It's look at these awful, weird people and all the weird things they do, and how many things they hurt, how much they hurt, and how much they should be feared and pushed away to the brim of society. I'll give you another statistic. 40% of trans people attempt suicide. 40%. Why do you think that is? It's because of the treatment. It's because of the way that they see. When I see on the news, since I was 5 years old, that trannies are feared and a horrible thing to be and shameful and laughed at and will never lead a good life, and I say to myself, God, I'm trans. Do I ever want to come out? Do I ever want to be who I am? Do I ever want to be happy? Do I ever give myself that chance? That's why you see the support groups now cropping up, because people have realized that these kids are alone and they're trapped. They have nowhere to go because society has rejected them for no other reason than, ew. That kind of freaks me out a little bit. It's disgusting. It's disgusting behavior to sacrifice people in society for your own selfish gains. The New York Post on June 13th, 2004, ran an article on transgender Medicaid recipients getting critical hormones under the headline, Tranny RX Sex Scams. It has no problem referring to trans people with sensational and dehumanizing terms such as he turned she, which was in an article in 2007, or transvestite hooker, again, an article in 2006. These things do affect trans people. They make them think less of themselves, and if they haven't come out that yet, they make them think less of the people who have. And it hurts them. It hurts them probably for the rest of their life. NBC Tucker Carlson, who is the biggest jerk-off in the entire world, and who appeared on MSNBC's Crossfire, which was destroyed by Jon Stewart not too long ago, regularly brings up transgender news items to scorn or make fun of them. He is being called transgender a profound personality disorder in 2006, declared sex reassignment surgery an act of a crazy person akin to setting your hair on fire or blinding yourself, also in 2006, and often makes derisive comments and immature comments about transgender people like, that dude is one ugly chick, or just because you're castrated and have a fake set of boobs does not make you a woman. These are the kinds of things. These are all in 2006. This was 6 years ago. What kind of age are we living in where we can't respect and humanize someone who's going through something that hurts and going through something that is, first of all, recognized by the American Psychiatric Association as an illness, although I disagree with the word illness, but as something that is treatable and is understandable. It's like looking at someone who's mentally handicapped and retarded and making fun of them. It's like looking at someone who's in a wheelchair and making fun of them. Oh, that cripple. Oh, what's wrong? Can't get up the stairs? Dehumanizing people, no matter what context it's in, is wrong. These people are not only crude, they're disrespectful. And his statements that, just because you castrate yourself and you have fake tits doesn't make you a woman, it's inaccurate to say that, and he's also factually wrong. There are studies that have come out that are scientifically proven that transgender people are not that way because of societal pressures, not because of social stigmas towards genders, and not because of nurture. Let me quote you a few things here. 2/3 of female-to-male transsexuals reported a sensation of a phantom penis from childhood onwards, complete with phantom erections and other phenomena. The person in this study, his name is Ramachandran, theorizes that transsexualism is an innate form of phantom limb syndrome involving body mapping regions in the brain. So, understandably, a region in the brain that is uncontrollably linked to a part of your body that's not actually there and was never there. Now, why that is, we don't know, but, that's definitely a theory at least. Some other theories, a region known for sex and anxiety responses, for male to female transsexuals like myself, they have female normal sizes of this region. born with it. These are genetic, physical reasons for me feeling this way. It is quite literally saying that my body, my brain is female. The method of controlling hormone usage in males, method of controlling hormone usage in the brain for males averaged 4 male to female transsexuals in the female range. So again, my brain has, in the method for controlling hormone usage, is in the female range. So it's just the same size and does the same thing as a female brain would. Literally female-brained. Likewise, 24, in this study, 24 male to female transsexuals not yet treated with cross-sex hormones were studied via MRI, while regional gray matter concentrations were similar to men rather than women. There was a significantly higher volume than gray matter in the right half compared to men. As with many earlier studies, they concluded that transsexualism is associated by a distinct cerebral pattern. Our brains are physically built differently than a normal cisgendered or non-transsexual person. So this isn't, a perversion. This isn't something that, I asked for. It's just like being gay. I'm born with it. This is who I am, and it's all I can do to accept it despite society's pressures. Now, I will say it is getting better, slowly but surely. Transsexual documentaries have come out, things like My Transsexual Summer in the UK, Trans America, Boys Don't Cry. There was a movie called Tomboy that came out in France that was won a lot of awards. Chaz Bono being in the spotlight was a big deal. Mike Penner of the Los Angeles Times is transsexual. There's so many things now that put transsexuals in a at least decent light. Even the New York Times Style Guide tells its writers to refer to transgender people with the right pronouns and the right name out of respect. So things are getting better and society is getting on the right track. But if I have said anything today, it's that we need to continue the fight for equality, because as long as I have to fight for my right to go into the women's bathroom and piss, this is not right. As long as I have to fight for the right to marry, as long as I have to go through years and years of paperwork to change a goddamn letter on my birth certificate or on my driver's license, this isn't right. Why does gender matter so much to people? It's such a defining aspect of a person, whether they are male or female. Sure, it matters, but why does it matter to the government? I am who I am. You have my social security number. You have my birth date. Change the number, change the letter. So I don't go to a bar and hand them ID and they say, this is a boy's ID. This is obviously not yours. And I can't go places. I can't do things. People look at me weirdly when I, try to buy a game and I hand them my ID and they see, oh, this says male on it. And I get shamed. I get embarrassed because they know a very personal thing about me and that they don't need to know and they shouldn't know. Fact is that my life is my own, and the fact that I'm not treated as a first-class citizen means that my life is everyone's business, and who I am is everyone's business, open for scrutiny and for disrespect from them. This is the fight that we need to continue. Now, eventually, the treatment of transgender people will leave us the same taste in society's mouth that the death of Harvey Milk did, that the death of Martin Luther King did before them, and people will eventually realize that I am human, just like them, and I deserve the same respect and understanding and the common human decency they give other people, regardless of race, sexual orientation, or gender identity. These are all the same thing, and they just don't matter. That's all I've got. Thank you for listening. And if you have any questions and any comments about this video, please feel free to send me a message or to comment. Thank you very much.